calls and webinars are recorded for stakeholder convenience, allowing those who are unable to attend to listen to the recordings after the meetings. The recordings will be publicly available on the ISO web page for a limited time following the meetings. Recordings and any related transcription should not be reprinted without the ISO permission. We have the following agenda today. We'll talk about map stage and stage availability, talk about the market simulation initiatives and timelines, and we'll separately talk about the initiatives, and then we'll talk about any updates on the OMS enhancements or ADS Phase 3, and then the next steps. Map stage availability can be found on portalmap.kaiser.com. Currently, we don't have any map stage maintenance scheduled today. Upcoming map stage maintenances are scheduled for 13th of November for CMRI, UI, and API. There will be a brief interruption. Any questions on the map stage availability?
Hi, this is Carlos from SE.
Hi.
Just wanted to see if this was the time to address again the unavailability of the ADS API in map stage.
Sure. So we are seeing some ADS API interruptions for external entities. I have invited Firdaus to talk more about it. Firdaus, are you on the call? I think he's not on the call. He will join in shortly. So this is the current information I have, and we're investigating the cause for these interruptions. And as soon as we know anything, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Meanwhile, please go ahead and log a CD ticket with whatever information you have. That will help us track it.
Yeah, it's already raised.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions on the availability?
Hey, Anshima, this is Isaac from SD. It's not an interruption. I think we haven't been able to connect since the 2nd of November, so it seems continuous from our side. Just FYI, and just like Carlos, we also logged the CD ticket as well.
So are you talking about ADS in map stage or in stage?
ADS in map stage.
Okay, thank you for letting us know, Isaac, and I'm sure you have logged the CD ticket for this.
Yeah, and it's only API. It's not UI connection is fine. So
UI connection is fine. All right. All right, I will pass on this information to our SMEs to take a look at it ASAP.
Is it about ADS map stage?
Yes.
We're also getting, this is Nora Kachetro from PG&E, ADS map
yes,
stage.
Hi.
Hi, we're using V7. We're getting timeout. Is there anything?
Okay. So we're still trying to investigate the cause of these interruptions, Nora, and Isaac was telling me that he's not even able to access the API for ADS for some time, for like 7 days now. So we're going to look at it today ASAP. As soon as this call is over, we'll take a look.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. And please, meanwhile, if you're facing these kind of issues, please log in CD tickets. It tells us, it makes us that we track it and, get back to you on time if the issues are resolved.
Okay, that will be new tickets. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. There are no change for any market release, market simulation initiatives and timelines. This is same as last week. Adrian, do you have any update if there is any date changing?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ashman. I think the updates we owe market participants is on the CCDEBI. So on the CCDEBI, as you know, market simulation has started early from July because the majority of the functionality was available for testing since. And I think most of the functionality sought by the project was tested and kind of validated, and we passed a lot of major steps on that quality vetting. I think when the filing with FERC came in, I think there's some tune-up, some sharp clarification on that tariff. So keeping up with those clarification, we had some cyber rules changes. And that mostly deals with the ex-ante for the real-time market. And we're hoping to make that, code available with all the fixes and enhancements by November 10, which is tomorrow. It turns out that we couldn't finish our testing to be ready for tomorrow, and we can't pass the quality review boards to make the code available tomorrow. We have to continue testing on this one. So at this point, probably I would defer our new planning or new plan for making the CCDEBI functionality for testing to you to the next Thursday. But most likely, almost for sure, December 1 is out of picture right now for implementation. So we need to decide what's the best timeline for implementing the project. As you know, FERC approved the implementation of the project no later than January 31st of 2021. That's what the approval we got from FERC. But we owe FERC, a warning, kind of a heads up of the date when we plan to implement the project. And so far that date is December 1st. We have to change that, so we have to have a filing date revision filing with FERC, and probably by next Thursday we'll have a better understanding of the effort and the timeline we can observe for this project. So that's what I have to say on this one, kind of a convoluted way, but I'll just stop here for any questions.
Hi, Adrian. This is Chen. Thanks for sharing the details for CCDEBI. So from the testing, are you guys run into a problem, defect, or is just the natural progress of the testing is still going? So we can kind of try to gauge to understand whether this is going to be a little delay or much further delay.
It's not a defect. It just turns out that with those cyber rules, there are so many combinations and possible scenarios that the group testing this says we need more time, just because we can't cover all that. In order to feel confident and feel good about the way the quality of the code and all the possible scenarios those new cyber rules introduced, they would like to extend the testing and test multiple scenarios that could come up during your testing. So there's no defect that I know of. It's just they recognize the need for additional time and possible scenarios that you can see in the market.
Thank you. Appreciate the insight, and CAISO want to do a more comprehensive testing. I do have another question for different initiative. I'm not sure that you guys, this is premature. I saw that the BRS for Hybrid Resource Phase 1 has published as of today. And I also see that in the BRS, there's a new scope and also introduce of Group 1 and Group 2. So Group 1 indicate it's going to go before December or by December, and then Group 2 is the spring. So with that, I don't know if you guys ready to share any updates, because just that natural question come to mind is that how does the scope change impact the implementation timeline? And we understand the market sim is going to end at November 13 for hybrid resource, but understand group 1 change. It's going to have a master file change. And whether group 1 change is going to also delay or going to push the market sim timeline to further, further dates, because definitely if it's in November 13, I'm not sure CAISO's ready to share the master file changes from the system. I'm not sure if you guys have any any discussion on that yet, but I just think that I asked the question.
Does anybody from CAISO wants to answer this?
This is Wayne. The project manager. I can tell you at the broad level what's happened is that scope. We're still on track for 12.1. The scope for that group 2 is around hybrid forecasts and settlements, so that's not impacting the 12.1 go live. The change you're talking about for master file is to get the VER NGR flag in place so that on 12.1 we can start identifying those co-located resources. And that was pulled forward from that new BRS into the current work, and that's being released right now to our stage environment, our map stage environment. And Adrian, I don't know if you have anything else to add on that.
No, I think you described it well.
And I do have a follow-up question, Wayne. You say the changes have been introduced into the map stage, like the master file change?
The master file changes have been in and functionally tested other than this one flag, and that's being hopefully moved. I'll have to double check, but I think it's moving maybe even today.
Right, the flag, it is part of the master file change. It is being identified as the new scope. And I'm just looking at November 13 as the end of market sim. It is almost impossible because now we have to go back to scratch some of the stuff we did, or we have to come up with some of the test scenarios to see we're able to test this new functionality. And because I think the flat, if it's a yes, means one thing, if it's no, means different thing. And we would like to test that out if that is going live December 1.
So can you let us invite, our expert technical lead on that one at the Thursday meeting to see how we can deal with it. I don't think we can, the project manager can go so far in understanding the mechanics, and if Anshuman doesn't have an answer on this one about how we're going to test it, then we need to have a functional manager to describe all this new testing and flagging and so forth.
Yeah, if I could add one other additional comment on top of what has already been provided to you, and then we can also continue the discussion on Thursday, is the introduction. So this change for that VER piece, right? There's going to be two components of that. One is that flag and master file, and how that flag will manifest itself into an impact to you would be how settlements treats that flag. So for the settlements component, that'll be included in, I believe it was the Q1 or the spring. It's targeted for the spring 2021 settlements release. So from even if the flag goes into production sooner, it's because we want to capture that data from this point on. But settlements won't actually process that flag until later on with the 2021 settlements release, and it will be retroactive at that time. So what we've been doing is we've been planning, just like we would have sample statements for the settlements quarterly release and map stage. We still plan on doing that and giving you an opportunity to review that flag all the way, or that master file flag all the way through settlements in the map stage environment before we activate in production with a retroactive trade date back to the 12/1. But again, so that's the high-level plan right now, and we can take any other questions that you have and queue them up for a better discussion on Thursday.
Sure. Thank you, Trin. Thank you, Adrian and Wayne, for all the insights. And along with I want to point out that along with the new scope introduced, also all the previous market SAM recommendation of the test scenarios for the market SAM in the BRS also being scratched out. So that means, what does that mean? Does that mean those testing is no longer valid for the new scope, or is that those no longer, the business rules no longer true? So it just kind of creates some of the questions after reviewing the BRS. It will be nice to hear something from CAISO on Thursday as what does it mean in terms of the new introduced BRS to the scope and to the schedule change. Thank you.
Thanks, Chunya, for the question, and we'll pick it up again on Thursday's meeting to talk more about this particular project and have more information to present. All right, any more questions on the timelines? All right, moving on. So as we discussed in the previous meetings at intertide deviation settlements, the structured scenario and the testing timelines have been moved to December 1st. Structured scenario, as shown here, will be done on December 1st, and please use the demo.kaiso.tag.oati.com to submit the tags with map stage environment. And the structured scenario document is available at the following link. For symmetrical wheeling, the testing timeline is November 12 to November 30. The business requirement specification document is available here at the following link, and unstructured scenario document is available as well. Hybrid resources phase 1, the testing timeline was between October 26th to November 13th, and we will discuss this project again on Thursday and present more information on this. The business requirement specification document is available at the following link. Commitment cost and default energy bill enhancement. The testing timeline is between July 27th to November 24th. We were planning to deploy new cyber rules on November 10th, which is not feasible as of now. So we would not be expecting the change to be valid on November 10th, and we will provide an updated date by Thursday. Training documentation for this project is available at the link provided below, and the cyber business rules are also available at the following links. Any questions on these projects? All right. This is more information on the nodal pricing model project, and we have completed the structured scenario for this particular project. Somebody has any more questions or questions for this particular project, please let us know. FRP improvement buffer and min. The testing timeline for this project was October 13 to October 28. The structured scenario document is available at the following link. We did perform the structured testing for this particular project, and it is complete. Energy imbalance market enhancements 2020. The testing timeline is between November 16 to November 30. BOP and BSAP are currently available in map stage to test this functionality, and unstructured scenario document is available at the following link. Settlements Q4 winter release will contain following projects: day ahead nodal, intertide deviation settlements, EAM enhancements and symmetrical veiling, and production defects as noted in the release component of the SUG email. The technical documentation is available at the following link for this release. Before we hand over to Triumph for an update on the OMS and ADS deployment, I have Firdaus online. Firdaus, could you provide us a little bit more update on the ADS V8 issues that have been going on?
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Anshuman. Sorry for the delay. Hey, so for message, I was, I think, under the impression that it is working, and I see some city that they're not able to access the API. But internally, it is still working fine. So I will have to take a look on those why when people are coming from external side, it's not working. So we have to do some research and get back to it. So the CD right now I have is these three. Is there any more? I have actually 4 CD right now. Is there any more who had they're not able to access the API? Basically, right now I do not have any update from the API connection why people are not able to access externally.
Right. For this, we had a lot of market participants actually point out in this meeting that they were having these issues, and Isaac mentioned that they are not able to access the ADS in map stage from like November 2nd. So
by UI or API or both?
This is just API. They can connect to the UI.
Okay. Okay, yeah, good to know. So is Isaac on the line? Isaac, do you have any CD ticket submitted for that?
Yeah, Firdaus, I'm on the line. Yeah, we submitted a CD ticket on that. It should be one of the ones that you already have on file. Let's see what the number was. Actually, Diana might have been the one that created those for.
Yeah, if CD was created, then I think obviously we'll look into it. But yeah. I'm kind of.
The CD ticket I have is 230981 on the connection issue. And I think I see it has a couple of CD tickets in different groups.
Okay, so Anshuman, so I see right now I have 4 in my queue. If we have more CD tickets, would you please gather all those one and send to me so that I can kind of take a look, and I will try to respond to those CD tickets by the end of the day or probably by end of the tomorrow.
Sure, will do. Thank you for this.
Hi, Firdaus. Or Anshuman, this is Chinyu. Pigeon, you also have we're going to create a CD ticket. As Nora pointed out, we're getting the timeout issue. So it's just like it's a coincidence because prior to last week, we opened a CD ticket that we experienced that issue for V7 with the timeout issue, and then last Wednesday it was fixed in production, but sounds like the map stage start to have the problem. So is that something similar to what you fixed in production that is currently existing in map stage? I just want to point it out. It's the timing and the similar situation there.
Yeah, thank you, Chanu, for so yeah, I will take a look on that part too. But right now, while I was talking, I checked in the API. I see the B7 and B8 both are working fine and returning the data for me. But I'm checking from the internal network. So only other component that we need to check it from the external network. So I will be working with our team right after the meeting, and we'll find out why this is happening. So please do me a favor. If you don't have the ticket submitted yet, just have it submitted so we will track it properly and respond to it by the end of the day, today or tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Firdaus, for the update. Now I'll hand it over to Trang for any update on OMS enhancements.
Thanks, Anshuman. So for OMS, I think we've already communicated that the changes for the set here have gone to the map stage environment, and so it incurred some testing, the testing to happen there, and then just city cases if there's any issues. For the production, we know that this is, we've received the feedback and we understand that the production target is very aggressive based on the timeline that this went into map stage. So we're currently working on negotiating the production target. And then again, that's going to take into consideration how the testing is going for in the map stage environment. So please do let us know if there are any issues, and we will give those attention and then work through the production planning and continue to communicate that and any changes to that production date as far as moving out in the standard calls, including the tug tomorrow and then the market sim call on Thursday. So that's the only update I have for the OMS items. These next waves of OMS remain the same. Okay. So then on to ADS. So we did have our first call of the weekly calls here last Wednesday. So we're capturing any of the comments and feedback that were provided there, including some of the map stage issues that were mentioned on this this call. So we will have another one this Wednesday for you to, again, call in and just let us know if there are any other issues, or let us know your ADS adoption plans as we gear up towards activating the new features in production with, again, the prerequisite of having as many of our customers cut over to the new ADS as possible. All right. And then our decommission of the old ADS is still planned for February 1st of 2021. So after the activation of the new features, then that'll be our final milestone for that. And I think, Anshuman, if you go to the next slide, that'll give you the customer bridge details as a reminder. And we will be ready to take your calls on Wednesday during the 1 to 2 o'clock time frame as well. All right. Thanks, Anshuman.
All right, Trang, thank you for the update. This is all I had on my agenda today. I'll open up the call for any more questions if anybody has.
Yeah. Anshuman, this is Adrian. Before we get questions, I just received guidance from our sponsor on the CCDB. So I think given the upcoming holidays, end of November, I think best is probably to postpone the start of the market simulation for CCDB, this real-time ex-ante, to start on December 1st, and then we'll we'll aim for the project go live mid-January, probably January 13 is the target date that we'll have. I think that's the latest. That's the plan we'll pursue, and we'll present to you. We'll make it formal, maybe even in this presentation before we post it out. Again, market simulation to start on December 1st and go live aiming for January 13 of 2021.
Thank you, Adrian, for the update. We'll definitely change the presentation and send it.
Okay. And Anshuman, I'm sorry, I did have an update that wasn't on the agenda, but it's a continuation of a discussion we had about Oasis day-ahead prices from last week, last Thursday's call. So I'd like to provide an update on that for those questions that were raised. So just in summary again, last Thursday there were some questions raised about the map stage environment Oasis day-ahead data. And I did mention last week that specifically for day-ahead nodal pricing model, we were blocking some data from going into OASIS, but in order to do that, we had to block all of the data in that day-ahead report until we get another change implemented into map stage OASIS for the day-ahead nodal pricing effort. No data for the OASIS day-ahead prices will be available. So there were questions about that. I just wanted to give that update here. And also for, I believe there was one city case in particular for trade date October 13th that we can respond to. And if there were others, then we'll take a look and add that comment as well. So are there any questions on OASIS and map stage based on last week's discussion and this update? Okay, thanks, Anshman.
Thank you, Trang. All right, any questions for any project? Thoughts, concerns?
Yes, hi. This is Tony Gerard with Power Settlements, and I just want to clarify with CCW, there was some API that when it, or some URLs that are in but not active, and we're going to be activated on 12/1. Does that mean that they will not be activated on 12/1, or is this only related to business rules?
Thanks, Tony. That's a great question. So the APIs that were planned to be active on 12/1 would shift out and be active for that new CCW date. Yeah, because although the rules are just a piece of it and we're not changing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the entire project the entire project will move to January 13. It's not like we're deploying this project in phases. Looks like everything will have to be moved to January 13, Tony. Thanks, Trang. Thanks for saying that ahead of me.
Okay, thank you. Hey, could I ask one more question? This is related to settlements and nodal pricing. Will there be a settlement statement ever generated for October 22nd, which I believe part of the structured scenarios carried over into that date, or it's not planned? It's not on the calendar.
Correct. And thank you for bringing that question. We will not be publishing a settlement statement for 22nd of October. It's difficult to go back and publish a settlement statement for a previous date. So we'll have to maybe redo the scenarios, which actually is going to take a long time. So we have to just manage that time based upon our resources availability. So we'll check back on that and I'll let you know in the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll have next meeting on Thursday, November 12th. See you then at 2 p.m.